On this episode of He Said, She Heard, I sit down with EDM musician Dr. B to talk about his journey through music.
Dr. B.
Plus, in case you missed it, we'll play an encore presentation of our self-titled Greatest Hits episode called He Said, She Heard. Besides listening to us from any corner of the world, you know that you can watch us too.
È possibile vedere anche il video di questo episodio collegandovi sul sito www.hesaidSheheard.com.
If you want to watch this episode, you can head over to our website, www.hesaidSheheard.com.
She heard a silly noise. I know what's going on. He said that's not what happened. Girl, you got it wrong. He said she heard about what's going on. Oh yeah! He said she heard about what's going on. Oh yeah! About what's going on.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of He Said, She Heard, which may end up being your favorite. So don't forget to click the share and subscribe buttons, and also to keep this international comedy and music show going and growing, there's a Become a Patron button. When you click the Become a Patron button, you'll see there's perks for supporting the show that's brought to you from 3 different countries. Listen, share, support. Back to the show now.
Both ready for countries, we bring you this show.
I need a doctor!
And it ain't no Rasta.
Dr. B.
Welcome to He Said, She Heard. I'm your host, Mike Fox, and on this episode of He Said, She Heard, I am joined by Dr. B, a musician who is formerly known as the Mad Scientist. Dr. B has worked with Swiss Beats, Elephant Man, and Rockefeller, and so much more. He has a visual album coming out in 2023. I just watched the trailer again because it's so mesmerizing. And the album's going to be called Dragonfire. Very cool trailer on YouTube. Got to check it out. The link is in the show descriptions to watch that very awesome trailer. So without any further ado, I give you Dr. B. How are you, Dr. B?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
this is exciting. This is our second go at trying to get together. We had some technical issues the last time. It was funny. We were talking to each other, and he's responding via chat. It was like something out of a movie, you know, and it was so weird. It was like being trapped inside like a room, and I'm like, I can't get out. Help! Don't worry, I'm sending help, Mike. Don't worry. That was so surreal.
It was a little trippy, yeah.
It was, but I'm glad at least the second time around we can hear each other. So, Dr. B, you began your career as a DJ back in 2003. Am I correct?
Well, it was actually a little bit earlier than that. I would say the late 90s. I would say like 98, 99. In 2000, and I think it was 2000 and 2000. Yeah, no, it was 2000 exactly. That's when I moved to New York City, and I was acting as a manager. To be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing, or I was totally faking it. But I knew some people. I got introduced to some major label executives, and they were interested in these 2 artists, and I felt they needed some form of representation, some form of professionalism. I was working with them, and they were really young, and I didn't want them to just, go and meet them on their own. So I said, let me, go down there and act as if and see if I can get something, really good for you, like a better deal or something. Well, after an hour in the meeting, they offered me a label deal. They didn't just want to sign the artist. They gave me a whole record company, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I was like, what the hell? So I said, damn it. Well, I wasn't planning on doing this with my life, so I guess I have to do this now. And my lawyer at the time was the same lawyer as Eminem. His name was Randy Cutler.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a lot of access to, certain people, certain opportunities, sales teams, and things like that. And it was going well, but I was completely miserable. I hated the music business. I hated most of the people that I had to deal with and talk to. I didn't like all the shadiness behind it and all the craziness that came along with that, with the drugs and the drinking, and it just really wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But having said that, we did make a lot of great music. I had the opportunity to work with people like Elephant Man and Swizz Beats and Just Blaze from Rockefeller Records. He was like Jay-Z's main producer for years, right? And I had a great time, but eventually, after about 4 years of that, I couldn't take it anymore. I was just miserable, and I left. I went back to Canada. Yeah, I didn't make music for a really long time. Like, I had a really bad taste in my mouth, and I was really bitter. I was mad. I was bitter. I was angry. And to the point where I took my turntables and I put it in a box, and I didn't even like open it for like 15 years.
Yes.
I didn't want to have anything to do with it. And then when I started releasing music again in 2019, I thought, well, if I'm going to do this again, I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to. And I also wanted to make music that I really always wanted to make, which is EDM music, like electronic dance music. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I spend most of my time making that type of genre. I do make hip hop and pop music as well. But I love experimenting with different genres, telling stories in different ways. And yeah, that kind of leads me up to my visual album, which, oh, by the way, I changed the title. It used to be called Mother of Dragons. It's called Dragonfire now.
Dragonfire. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want it to be. It is inspired by Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and those type of films and television shows, but I didn't want it to be too similar. Do you know what I mean? So, which is why I changed the title. And I actually think Dragonfire is even better. You know, it's much more. I think it's more curious, right? It creates more curiosity. I think it's more interesting than the Mother of Dragons. We all know that name so much. So yeah.
Yeah. So you're embarking on a tour, right, in Europe? Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, originally actually, the funny thing is before COVID happened, I was working on an Asian tour. And they were in the process of like setting it all up, and then COVID happened and everything just fell through. Yeah, my deal with the label fell through, the tour fell through, like everything. Because I mean, we just didn't know what was happening, right? And they were in Asia, and I think they started losing and hemorrhaging cash. So I was a little disappointed by that, but I was also happy to be alive. So I was like, well, okay, at least we won't, get sick or something horrible would happen.
Yeah, at least we won't die.
Yeah, at least we won't die. But when I was thinking about the show, that's really kind of got me thinking about shows and how I want to do shows moving forward. Do I want to do them like everybody else? How am I going to be unique? How am I going to be different? At the end of the day, you're a salesman, right? You are selling tickets. You are selling yourself. You're selling your art. You're asking people to spend time with you, right? To come down there and just hang out with you for a substantial amount of time. So I really wanted to, I feel like, well, what makes me so special than a million other artists and producers and vocalists like that, right? So I looked at this opportunity to kind of maybe reinvent the wheel in a way, from my point of view, right? So I said, if I'm going to get back out there and do a tour and do a show, what do I want my fans and listeners and what do I want the audience to really experience? What is it I'm trying to achieve? Anybody can play a beat at 120 BPMs, right? 140 BPMs. We all can do that. We're all professional musicians, but what am I really bringing to the table? So I started thinking about these different stories. I'm a best-selling author for this story called Elysium. So I have a history in graphic novels,
Okay.
Motion comics, animation, special effects, and things like that. So I'm very, very addicted to Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and like The Witcher. I love the new Vikings, Valhalla. I played the video game. I watched the show. I love that time period. I love that genre. So as I was thinking about it, I thought, as I was developing this idea and story, I thought it would be really, really cool to maybe tell a story, come up with a unique story, but have these giant screens in the background and put this different form of artwork combined with special effects, maybe some narration, maybe some voice actors to tell this story, but for it to be 99% music based, to move the story through music, but we're also having visuals and special effects. Maybe we have ballet dancers, like something that will help kind of tell the story, but also we're pushing it forward in a different way. So as I started,
Moving the story
yeah,
along.
yeah, yeah, move it forward. So as I was writing it and came up with this concept, it just kind of developed more and more over time, and eventually I started hiring voice actors. I'm working with this really talented actor. His name's Ricky. He's got like 40 years experience in Hollywood, and
Wow,
he's playing the role of Zeus in my story.
that's
So
exciting.
yeah, so that's the voice you hear in the trailer, right?
Got a good voice.
Yeah, so if when you listen to the whole album, like the whole album is kind of told from Zeus's perspective, his
Okay,
point of view.
from Zeus's point of view.
There was a good way to kind of incorporate the old gods and the Greek gods into the story. And my family's half Greek, so
Oh,
I always love Greek mythology,
right.
Greek culture. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do something with that.
So how do these sounds like come up in your mind? You know, when you are working on these EDM compositions. What is it? Just when you hear a certain sound come up in your mind, and then you just start composing? How does that work?
Well, I use cannabis a lot, so
Okay.
that, so so that helps. Half the time, I'm probably out of my mind. So if you hear something crazy on my song, you're like, yeah, I
Okay.
guess we know what he was doing at that point in time.
That's
No, but
funny.
I really I approach my music. I would say I approach it every song like a story. Every single time I sit down, like I was just in the studio 2 days ago, and I always ask myself, what do I want to say? What do I want to do? What type of story am I trying to tell with this song? So sometimes I start with it's a sample. Sometimes I start. I'm a percussionist. That's my base. So sometimes I start with the drums. Sometimes I'm working with a vocalist, right? And sometimes I tell the vocalist to sing the vocals before the music is even written. And I write it all out and I say, this is the melody and do it that way. I mean, I've kind of done music like I've created music in so many different ways. And I feel like every song is like in some ways, like a different process.
Very exciting. Well, I really can't wait for Dragonfire to come out, Dr. B, and it's amazing, you know, what you bring to the table, and it's nice that you know you enjoy it. That's the most important thing, that you're getting satisfaction out, as opposed to before when you were talking about being in the music business. You're like, this sucks, but now you're making the
Yeah.
music you want to make, so that's got to be very satisfying.
Yeah, no, I'm having so much fun. I'm having a great time. And what I love the most is that I don't have to deal with the bullshit. I don't have to deal with anybody that I don't want to. And what I love about this the most is that you get to have a direct relationship with your fans and your listeners. I
Right.
mean, they're not stupid. They know what's good, what's not good. They know what they like and what they don't like.
Hmm.
You don't have to focus on like ads or all these other things. I feel like sometimes as artists we get distracted, and I think as long as you just kind of communicate directly with the people that are into what you're doing,
Hmm.
I think you'll be all right. But sometimes we get online and we focus on other things and we waste a
Yeah.
lot of time, and I'm a victim of that myself. Like I used to do that a lot years ago, and then I realized, you know what, my time would be a lot. Uh, it would serve me better if I would just practice my instruments, or if I focused on working on something that's for my fans and listeners and not watching and observing what 100 other people are doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Dr. B. And we're so excited to see what else you bring to the table. And also, thanks for sharing your process with us. And look forward to, what's it called? Dragonfire?
Dragonfire, yes, please. Everybody check it
Yes.
out on YouTube.
Check out
Just
the
Google
trailer
search.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
He said, she heard. These guys are a riot.
And the Zeppelins are still sitting in my stomach.
I love the quirky comedy,
What? We're like squatters.
the music,
In California, there's many downloads.
and now I can wear the show. Wow! That's right, I just bought some He Said, She Heard merchandise. I got a t-shirt, so beautiful, a mask,
Who's that?
a tank top.
She's smoking hot.
Thank you. Because on TeePublic, there's a sale going on. Did you see that? Head over to www.hesaidSheheard.com and click on Shop Now.
Vamonos.
Nom 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 nom.
Honey, let's go. That's www.hesaidSheheard.com and click on Shop Now.
So you want to win some free merch from HeSaidSheHeard.com? It's real easy. Just go to our website, www.HeSaidSheHeard.com, and then click follow. If you don't have a Podbean account, no problem. It's free to sign up, and guess what? You win a free magnet. And then after that, watch an episode. That's right, watch an episode and leave a comment. If you leave a comment, guess what? Guess what you get? A free spiral ring notebook of your choice from our merch store. Now let's say you want a t-shirt. So if you refer a new follower to He Said She Heard via Podbean or another preferred podcast app, guess what? You'll get a free t-shirt that way. On a dreary Sunday afternoon somewhere in the continent of North America, grandparents Harold and Agnes pay a visit to their daughter, Julianne, and her family.
Here they come. Violet! Violet!
Welcome to the new He Said She Heard. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Fox, and we got a great show for you today.
What? Violet, would you please help Grandma Agnes and Grandpa Harold? Daddy would help, but he's cooking Jewish fusion food. Like, okay, I know Grandma's got some delicious babka and sour meatballs in the back of the car. Whatever.
Oh, Harold, here comes Violet! And look, she's got violet hair now. How cute.
Oh, hi, Grandma and Grandpa.
If it isn't my baby doll, Violet, I remember you when you were in curls.
Just like Cindy from the Brady Bunch.
Come here, darling. What's your shirt say? He said, she said.
Heard.
Heard what? Wow, you really sprouted since the last time we came here from Florida. Really filling up there.
You, need a hand with that food and stuff?
Sure, sweetheart. Wait, did you pierce the inside of your ear with
Earbuds.
ear what?
I think those are earphones, right, Violet?
Yeah?
But where are the wires hidden? Inside your skin? Is this a way for the government to spy on you?
No, Grandpa Harold, it's wireless. I'll show you in the house. Let me, get that door.
Look what they've done to the house, Agnes.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Papa.
Ah, you look so beautiful.
Thanks, Mum.
Hello, my beautiful daughter, Julianne. Come here.
Oh, Papa, so glad you could make it.
Something smells awful. Ooh, awfully good.
Pay no attention to her and her puns, but pay attention to these puns she baked at our hotel's kitchen.
Wait, all these side dishes and desserts were homemade?
Of course, the kitchen staff were all New Yorkers, and she sang a beautiful rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone, and they were impressed. Then they said, okay, you can use our kitchen.
Really?
Nah, she slipped them a few greens, but not the now legal type of greens that they have in New Jersey. Unless, of course, she has a secret stash somewhere in her purse of those types of greens.
Harold, stop. My God, divulged so many details.
Hi, Harold and Agnes. So nice to see you.
That's my favorite son-in-law. How are you, George?
George, what you're making in there sure smells good. Smoked salmon quesadillas, yeah?
We'd get bad for dipping. You are going to love it. I try to
Oh,
separate...
no, don't worry. We don't care. Right, Agnes? What's the big deal if it's mixed? You make it to your liking, and we will like it. Right, Agnes?
Of course. We always want to try new things, like listening to whatever Violet's listening to.
She's listening to a podcast. Let me get back to the kitchen. I'm so glad you made it, Agnes and Harold.
VR2.
Great to see you, George. So, what's this podcast thing?
Podcasts are like talk shows in the pocket. It's like listening to a show on your own time.
Oh, wow, do they have Milton Berle on there?
Possibly. It's a modern platform where people can create shows from their home. Most podcasts have an interview format, which the one she likes does, but it also offers more.
Is it like the Carol Burnett show?
Maybe. I've only listened to a few, or watched a few since they have video episodes too.
No, you're confusing me. That's it. Let's see it.
Violet, would you please share the podcast with us? Like, okay.
He said she's...
Heard. This one features an interview with comedian and award-winning podcaster Flobo Boyce, plus a hilarious skit about California's dumbest laws.
Please welcome Flobo Voice. How are you, Flobo?
I was going to say, speaking of dumb, we have a guest here today. I was like, yeah, that's also valid. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say this, but man, I love your voice. I am transported to LA Confidential. It is amazing. So much resonance.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. So what's your favorite bit that you've always done that you've noticed it always gets a surefire laugh?
My first bit that killed, and as a comic, you'll never forget it, because the first time you're like, oh man, I could repeat this from town to town, was what if like British soccer commentators were like following me around, you know what I mean? So like I would go like, Flobito was going to give his friend a high five, but he wanted a fist bump instead. It was a calamity. Like it was just so funny to be like how bad it was, and someone was sitting in the booth going like, what an awkward person Flobo is.
In California, there's many dumb laws. A squatter can't be removed too fast.
What? We're like squatters.
Men can't kiss if he has a mustache. California's dumbest laws.
It's security. We gotta get out of here.
Honey, let's go.
Ma'am, you also need to pay for your vegetables.
Not according to Proposition 47.
Our food theft is under $950, so we're good to go.
Okay, have a nice day.
Pretty clever. What's this one about? A little bit bigger now? Oh, boy.
And for all this time, I thought you were getting your John Thomas enlarged.
No, your husband wanted to surprise you with this big cake. He said you like a lot of frosting, so we put up a lot of frosting to make it a little bit bigger now.
Thank you.
You don't think I would need it enlarged, do you, honey?
No.
You had to think about it. Or maybe I should then. I would advise against it, George, considering you just recovered from major heart surgery.
I was kidding.
Yeah, sure you were, Rebecca.
Rebecca went to the hospital to pick up her husband, Georgie. Rebecca went to the hospital.
Clever comedy. And I really dig this swing style song by Mattia.
I agree, Agnes. Matthias Signorodi is so good. Oh, let's check out this episode. Woodstock?
Look, here comes Bob.
Stan, this couple doesn't do that stuff. They're very boring. They won't even make love with other people.
What? Why are you here then? This is like Woodstock.
We just dig that music.
That's right.
Hey, Woodstock. You guys having a good time?
Speaking of which, Amelia, I hear Groove Tube is hitting the stage right now.
Oh, I love Groove Tube.
Go ahead and get down to Groove Tube. I'll stay here.
What? No, I ain't leaving you alone with this freak.
I'll keep an eye on her for you.
Hey, well, I don't know about that. You see, I need to protect her.
Stan won't even try to kiss her. His lips have touched the end of bongs more often than a lady's succulent lips. He's too timid to try anything.
Hey, Bob, what do you mean by that?
Get grooving. I'll be fine. Besides, my dad was in the Marines, and he taught me self-defense moves.
Stan, you lay one finger on her hand.
What are you so angry for?
Just go already.
That's more wife here, purple hay. You give me the drive. You make me feel this alright.
Oh, that's very good, very psychedelic. Are there any other episodes that take us back to the 60s, Violet? Oh, the Peach Vendor Boys. Let's listen to that one.
Well, I guess Darren turned out to be a decent guy.
See, but all that showing off didn't impress me. El loco.
Oh, me neither. Well, maybe a little.
This sounds all too familiar, Jerry.
Adriana and I were talking this afternoon, and what's great about you and Brando is you both are comfortable being who you are, and those are the qualities women like us look for in men.
Good to know. Good to know.
You being you.
Whoa. You being you, me being me, no one like you. Yes, there's plenty of me.
I don't know about that, there's no one like you.
Beach Vendor Boys brings back memories, and that Catabell girl's just so funny.
I love the nostalgia, old school aspect of the show.
Elvis in Australia.
I see you got vino there too.
This is Nebbiolo. It's very delizioso.
You got paper cups in the basket, love?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, I was going to have to purchase some wine glasses from this gentleman here. Here's $100. Keep the change.
Wait, what's this?
Elvis, tipping isn't customary here as hospitality workers get paid decently.
Consider it a gift then for exceptional service.
Thank you. Wait, but you are Elvis Presley.
I guess you could tell under this Aussie hat I'm wearing.
Not just the hat. You gave me $100. It's a pleasure to meet the king of rock and roll.
Oh, very good stuff. I see this one has an interview with Wonky Tonk. I guess she gets interviewed and she's in the skit. Play that one, Violet.
Like, okay.
All right, if this episode were a sandwich and it had its own special kind of spread, it would be my next guest, who spreads her love all over this episode by not only sitting here with me virtually, but also acting and singing in the audio skit called Bullying Sucks. Your mind will go for a wild ride if it hasn't already gone for one. If you haven't already heard the music of this guest sitting right here with me. She is Wonky Tonk. Hi, Wonky. How are you?
I am thrilled. How are you?
I am equally thrilled. The feeling is 110% mutual.
Yes.
As I was preparing for today's interview, I was rocking out to some of your latest songs, and I just, my mind went on a wild ride. And that's what music is all about. And that's something that's such lacking in modern music, but your music just takes us for a ride. It gives us a little bit of the old school, but it's reminding us where we are at the same time.
I love you.
I love you too.
It's so good. It's so good. People either see me and they're like, this is a country songwriter and she's so sad and belongs in this place. And it's like, I love to do all the things, and I'm always asking people to play with me and they're just like, I don't really understand. So to have someone else be like, you want to try this? You want to try this? It's like, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Of course I do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here's our latest single. They are throwing bottles at us.
Get off the stage.
That's it, Melissa. Let's hit the stage.
Stop, everyone.
You best move out of the way, ladies. We would never.
Of course you wouldn't. That's why we're here. Bullying sucks. Right, Jenny?
Say it again, girlfriend.
If those electronic instruments create backup music for Jenny and I to sing along with, you might just make it out of here alive.
Now that's more like it.
And be kind to everyone you meet.
Hate is overrated, runs out like cheap fuel. Love makes your tractor run faster than a mule. That may not make sense, but neither does hate. Bullying sucks. Who cares where your truck was made?
Hey.
So be kind to everyone you meet.
That wasn't nice, Melissa.
Be true to the company you keep.
And be kind to everyone.
That was in there. That's right.
Kaylee Allen is so good with those voices. Sometimes when people fall in love, they don't always think straight. You dropped it in the soup, man. Oh, you're so funny. Hank is so mean. Wow, he's sealing it. Victor is handsome, and I'm very lucky to have him as a husband.
I agree. She is so funny. Everybody's funny on here. I love those episodes with that Kirk guy that Ron plays.
There's no more toilet paper! Oh my god! It was so good! Nom, 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 nom. Thank you for the welcome lunchbox! Why does everybody call me Baby Huey? But it had my name on it! I got laid last night! I'm sorry, bud! Let's shake on it! What's with him? I said I was sorry! Let me get back to work! I said I was sorry! Is she mean? I had a really mean boss that I called with purple hair! She had a big ass! She always used to come in with midriff shirts! She was like a lesbian! Oh my god! What's the problem then? She's smoking hot! Perfect! But I just did! I got laid last night! Can I have seconds? Not my type! Hey, Foxer! Where are all triple stacks at?
Oh, they've got a sports episode, Agnes, called Armor Winkle. Let's play that one.
He may not have the stamina and endurance of his other teammates, but that face is so...
What? You fancy Armor Winkle?
No, I fancy you, but I...
Right, the coach benched him. Finally! Maybe we can catch up now. By the way, Jennifer, I am so sorry, honey. I just really get into the game.
I understand, you're a typical guy. I'm gonna get a hot dog and a beer. Want anything?
Just a beer. Hey, you want me to come with?
I can manage.
Here's my credit card, Jenny.
Thanks, I'll be back in a jiffy.
Let's go! 15 minutes later. Where the hell is Jenny? She's been gone 15 minutes already. Don't tell me there's a long line at the concession stands while the game is going on. Let me just call her.
Let's see, who's calling me? It's Nick. You need to call it, Nick.
Can I help you?
2 beers and a hot dog.
That'll be $89.99. Here you go.
Thank you.
Come on, Jenny, pick up. Damn. That's it, I'm calling her back.
Excuse me, I'm with the press. May I?
Go ahead.
Mr. Winkle?
Good one, Jenny. That's very funny. Hey, do you need help carrying the...
Yes.
Who's that? Are you talking to Armor Winkle? Let me just look through my binoculars. What? There she is by the benches, talking to that man she was calling Winky earlier. I can't trust this woman. Oh, good one, Jenny. You got so nervous around him that you just spilled some beer on his uniform. Right over the 69.
Uniform isn't much use to me now, as they may sack me soon.
And hopefully that happens soon, Winkle.
No, let me introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Coulterfront. I lied to security and told them I was the press so I could chat with you.
What do you want from me? I'm a terrible player.
You think so?
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. I don't know much about the game, but my husband pointed your flaws out to me.
See what I mean?
I'm sure you have other talents. You have a look about you.
That's it, Jenny. I'm going on the field to get to you.
Dinner is served. Oh, wait, I love this one. Could we play an episode while we hit?
Okay, Dad, I wasn't expecting this, but this is fun sharing this with everyone.
This show has an episode for everyone.
But the truth is, you'll have to ask the Colonel over there.
Colonel? Colonel who?
Colonel motherfucking Sanders.
I love this bitch.
Excuse me, Adriana.
What? I said I love this bitch.
I call you my best friend, and you, out of nowhere, call me that name.
You put your money on Swingy?
Oh my god, Mum. Daddy's sticking up the toilet again.
She heard a silly noise. I know what's going on. He said that's not what happened.
Nope.
Girl, you got it wrong.
She's on the phone.
He said she heard about what's going on.
Oh yeah.
He said she heard about what's going on. But what's going on?
So if the girl dog's name is David, then what's the boy dog's name? Balls! What's that from? Is that the Bare Necessities from Jungle Book?
It's not the Bare Necessities, dumbass.
Tell the girls around the world.
Let's hear from you.
What's going on?
Are you alright?
And all the boys make some noise. What's going on?
Oh yeah.
He said she heard about what's going on.
Oh, yeah!
He said she heard about what's going on.
The Fox's podcast.
What planet are you from?
Stick around and you'll find out. You're under arrest. But before I book you, let's get some donuts.
Donuts? Awesome!
Hey, boy, look at them go, guys.
Oh, Mike, I think you've got the wrong end of the stick.
What sort of stick are you referring to?
It's a song talking about farts.
You guys realize you just ruined a perfect moment?
Thank you, but just before I stink up your toilet.
No worries. I'll sit in the car while you drop anchor.
That's it. I'm lighting up.
But what's going on?
Oh, we're gonna go have a cup of tea.
Oh, that's really good. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Food was great. Podcast binging was fun too.
Nap time, but when we wake up.
Man, that Matthias Signoroldi sure is talented.
But we both speak the language of love.
Do papa, see we have another dad. Do papa, see we have another dad.
Sally took Sue, the woman's book club tonight. You call it soccer, but we call it football.
Soccer.
Football.
Soccer.
Football.
Soccer.
Yeah!
We are all the same, we are all the same, but different. We are all the same. But how can we sleep when our sheets are on fire?
Suddenly, you decide.
You wanna be a pop star? You wanna be a pop star? Groovy feeling got me flowing to the ceiling.
What's your anger? We'll be out of here. You three clowns want to rob Spoon Drive National Bank, right?
Passive-aggressive bank robbers.
Like I said, yes, it's nothing personal.
Too much talking, little action.
No one is walking out of here with free money.
But that gave Rom some satisfaction. The passive-aggressive bank robbers.
This might not be a good idea.
Of course it is, Mike. Look at these pansies.
Ron, I need to tell you something.
Doing this more than you.
A special thanks to our guest, Dr. B, today. Check out his latest single, Unreal, on Spotify. This was He Said She Heard, the self-titled episode. Starring Kaylee Allen, Connor Bell, Mike Fox, Matthias Signoroldi, Ron Speakman, Ariana Corona, Cousin Paul, Kelly Petering, John Fox, Flobo Boyce, Wonky Tonk, Abraham Johnson, Amy Sinha, Charlie Anina, and Madeline Arnold. Music by Matthias Signoroldi.
What's going on, Mike Fox? This is your boy, Cousin Paul Freisen. Taking a sip of my Hennessy, and I'm getting ready to get it popping. So all I know is, for the next 2 minutes, I'm Colonel Motherfucking Sanders. Let's get it, bits. Colonel Motherfucking Sanders, bitch. What you doing trying to get with my boo?
Hey, it's Flippo Boys. This is for He Said She Heard. That's I will always stumble on those words.
And you've been waking up with Kelly McDelly on W Butt. I'll drink to that. Insert burp here because I can't right now.
You're burping in my face again, huh? It's not part of the game. Ow, that's my finger. Oh, sorry. Oh, nom, 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 nom. Gunsmoke. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can come to my house. Awesome. Yeah, come on over. I got lots of triple stacks.
Follow us on Instagram
I can't find you.
at He Said She Heard.